Folks, I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. A little bit of an active afternoon here for us on our Thursday. We did have some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, almost like you could set your clock to them, right? Every day at about 5 o'clock, we can expect to see the showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up here along the Gulf Coast as we get those afternoon storms. And big picture shows otherwise fairly quiet conditions across our local area. Nothing major going on down at the surface, but I wanted to show you something up into the atmosphere. This is like 18,000, 20,000 feet up in the atmosphere. There's a huge area of low pressure. That's been, we've been on the edge of that, getting some showers from time to time. But over here in Texas and Mexico is a huge dome of high pressure. Heat dome is what that is, and it is extremely hot. They've been seeing heat index values that have been soaring up to close to 120 at times. It's starting to cool off a little bit late in the afternoon here now, but at times during the day today, this is up around 120 in some spots around Corpus Christi and Laredo, Texas. And I'm pointing this out because next week, this is going to shift a bit off to the east. Now, we're not going to go fully under it and see our heat index values go to 120, but we're going to see highs getting into the mid-90s and probably going to start seeing heat index values up around 105 to 110 next week. But we've got a few days till we get there, thankfully. Here's your FUTURECAST. Should be pretty quiet through the rest of our Thursday evening. Just a few little spotty showers that'll fizzle on out. We start out in the morning, should be pretty quiet to start your Friday. Quiet here around lunchtime. Probably still quiet around 2, but then around 4 or 5 o'clock, like I said, set your clocks to it. We'll start seeing some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And I do believe the FUTURECAST is undercutting things a little bit. Probably see a few more around than what it was showing. Here's your forecast for your Thursday evening. Spotty rain for the first part of the evening. Then as we get later on, it'll just be humid and sticky with temperatures in the upper 70s. We wake up tomorrow and your Friday should be pretty good. Temperatures will be around 70. Plenty of sunshine. A nice start here to the day. The afternoon will be hot, up around 90 degrees. There will be some of those spotty storms once again, like I said, right around 4, 5, 6 o'clock. That's the high time for getting those showers and thunderstorms. All right, I got some great news for you. If you head to the beach this weekend, looking much, much better. We had red flags for about a week and a half. This weekend, we've got yellow flags going for your Friday and on into your weekend as well. They never put up green flags in our local area. They always wanted people to have caution, so they keep yellow flags up. We're not going to be looking at red flags. Should be just fine to head to the beach this weekend. Water temperature nice and comfortable, and the rip current risk low both Saturday and Sunday. Also, great news here. Last weekend was Father's Day weekend. I know a lot of folks made plans to go do some snapper fishing for Father's Day weekend and then had to cancel plans because it was terribly rough much of the weekend last weekend. But this weekend, looks fantastic. So if you want to get the boat out, we're talking winds out of the west-southwest every day, only around 10 knots. Seas about 2 feet. Might need a little bit of Dramamine, but otherwise not too bad. And the temperatures will be pretty good, mid to upper 80s. Yeah, an isolated chance of a shower or two, but for the most part, if you go out early especially, you should be just fine. Out in the tropics, well, we got 2 storms. We got BRET and Tropical Depression number 4. First off, BRET, winds of 65 miles per hour, almost about to make landfall there in the Windward Islands down there in the Caribbean as it moves to the west at 16. It's going to continue to work its way into the Caribbean. And when it gets in there, you see this usually we put up a 5-day forecast. This doesn't go out 5 days because we don't anticipate it living much longer than early on Sunday, because it's going to run into some very strong upper level winds, and the strong upper level winds just rip the tops off the clouds and call that wind shear, and that's likely going to fizzle it out here as it makes its way south of Jamaica. So not too worried about BRET, and eventually it's going to fizzle on out. 4 likely will become Cindy, and it's going to track its way up to the north and west, miss all the islands there, and probably heading out to sea here and then eventually weakening as it heads towards Bermuda. So not too worried about 4 either, just something we'll keep track of for the next few days. Here's what it looks like as we head into the weekend back home. It looks great. I mean, like I said, same kind of weather we got today. We're going to be hot and humid, and then right around 4 or 5 o'clock each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have a few spotty showers and thunderstorms bubbling up. Shouldn't have to change your plans, just something to keep in mind if you're out at the pool or something like that. Around 4 or 5 o'clock, listen out for thunder, and if you hear it, just go inside for a little bit, let the storm pass. All right, looking beyond the weekend, this is where we start to see some of the other changes. That ridge of high pressure that's creating the heat dome over in Texas will kind of shift over our way a bit. Now, I don't think, like I said, I don't think we get into it like they did, but we're going to get pretty hot. Mid-90s is what we're looking at next week. Probably going to see heat index values around 105 to 110, so we're going to heat things up there as we look on that 10-day outlook. More on your forecast coming up.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The FOX10 Storm Tracker fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
All right, after the frightening storms we dealt with on Monday, it's important to know that there are different types of water spouts that we can see during the summer months. Meteorologist Michael White has more.
I'm meteorologist Michael White, broadcasting from home for Next Weather, our digital weather show. And tonight we're going to be talking about something we see a lot in the summer, water spouts. Now, 95% of the time when we see these things, they are non-destructive. They don't cause any weather issues for the Gulf Coast. But every so often, they do. Most of the time, that happens when a tropical system is in the Gulf. But what we dealt with earlier this week was in no way related to a tropical system, and we ended up with a pretty ugly-looking water spout that held together as a tornado. That is the one that was around Magnolia Springs in southwestern Baldwin County. That was on Monday afternoon, and that was a very scary thunderstorm. There are two different types of water spouts that we deal with. Here's a look at that tornado warning where the tornado started over the eastern Mobile Bay and moved ashore, and that was a very frightening thunderstorm, and we were able to see a very good sign of that rotation on radar. But most of our water spouts look like this. They're fair weather water spouts. They form on calm days. They typically don't cause problems or destruction. And we see them almost any time we have showers popping up in the Gulf of Mexico. Sometimes you see them when there's not even any showers out in the Gulf of Mexico. And again, they are non-destructive. They don't cause any big problems. These are called fair weather water spouts. They're non-thunderstorm clouds formed due to rising air, and we deal with a lot of rising air in the summer because of the high humidity. The updrafts lift surface circulation to the base of the cloud. We call that vorticity. That's the rotating of the wind with height. And you end up with an updraft. And as you see in the top right corner of your screen with some of these facts regarding water spouts, you have a fair weather water spout, but you can also have a tornadic water spout, which is exactly what we dealt with in Magnolia Springs with that cluster of thunderstorms that was rolling through on Monday. So if you have a non-tornadic water spout, it's not associated with severe thunderstorms. They occur with building cumulus or cumulonimbus clouds to very weak wind shear environments, and they're typically no stronger than an E of 0. They can produce a little damage, usually to docks if they reach land, but they're less than 100 yards wide. You've seen these water spouts if they move ashore. They die off fast. The other type, the kind that are associated with severe storms, like what we saw Monday, that's a whole different ballgame. Yes, technically, they're water spouts because they form over water, but these things are destructive. They hold together on land. They are very scary. They're associated with severe storms. They occur below a rotating storm, known as a mesocyclone, and strongest can produce wind speeds up to possibly 300 miles per hour, and they can cover over a mile wide. And so thankfully what we saw Monday is the exception rather than the rule. Usually once we hit June, tornado season is typically done for us. And anytime we have a tornado threat, it's related to a tropical weather system. This was a situation where that was not the case. And we were dealing with an environment where tornadoes were favorable, and we kept seeing these clusters of thunderstorms, scary, loud thunderstorms that were able to produce rotation, and therefore we were seeing tornadoes, not just over water, but even just over land in general. For example, we had the one in Moss Point. That was an EF2 tornado that hit on Monday afternoon. And so these things can be, that weather was extremely frightening. But again, most of our summer, at least the rest of it, if we see water spouts, it's going to consist of fair weather water spouts. You'll be at the beach having a great day. You'll see those things out on the horizon. They're typically not going to bother anybody. If they move ashore, obviously move away from it, but usually when they move ashore, they're gone in an instant. And we'll be talking a lot more about the summer weather pattern as we continue throughout the summer months. Remember, the dog days are knocking on our doorstep. For Next Weather, I'm meteorologist Michael White. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Coming right up, we'll have more on your long-range forecast.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plans across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour. The 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him, though.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day, informed and ready for the morning.
All right, let's check out this long-range forecast one more time. Just like today, our Friday, our Saturday, our Sunday, and even on into Monday should be pretty similar. We're talking temperatures in the low 90s. We're talking scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly right around 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Set your clocks to it. That's when they're going to happen. We got great conditions over the weekend to go to the beach, to take the boat out. Obviously, just got to listen out for some thunder, and if you have a storm coming your way, you just pack it in for a little bit and let that storm go on by. But whatever your plans are for the weekend should be good. We have pretty good weather both Saturday and Sunday, even on into Monday. Of course, you can still snapper fish into Monday. The next week, oh yeah, we're going to start heating up, drying out and heating up. Temperatures hitting the mid-90s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us here on our Fox 10's Next Weather.